Remember the BlackBerry? Once a status symbol, an office essential, and the world's go-to mobile device. But now, it's practically a relic. So what happened? How did a company that once dominated the smartphone world fall so spectacularly? Today, we're diving deep into the meteoric rise and dramatic fall of BlackBerry and the lessons that even today's tech giants can learn from its story. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, BlackBerry was revolutionary. For the first time, professionals could send emails, manage contacts, and organize their day, all from a handheld device. And it wasn't just any device. BlackBerry was sleek, it was reliable, and it became a badge of honor for the business elite. By the mid-2000s, BlackBerry was on top of the world. They had over 50% of the smartphone market share in the US and were growing globally. Their BlackBerry Messenger, or BBM, was like a precursor to WhatsApp, a fast, secure way to message that became wildly popular. At its peak, over 85 million people were using BlackBerry devices. BlackBerry wasn't just a phone, it was an icon. From executives to celebrities, everyone had one. If you were anyone in business or entertainment, you were on BlackBerry. But there was a storm brewing on the horizon that would change the smartphone landscape forever. Then, in 2007, Apple launched the iPhone. At first, BlackBerry didn't see the iPhone as a real threat. They thought it was a flashy gadget, but BlackBerry was for serious people, right? People who needed to work, to type fast, to email securely. But what they didn't realize was that people wanted more than a work device. They wanted a lifestyle device. The iPhone's touchscreen, intuitive interface, and endless apps offered something BlackBerry couldn't compete with. Apple had redefined what a smartphone could be. BlackBerry, meanwhile, stayed stuck in its ways. They kept that keyboard, kept focusing on business users, and overlooked how much mobile tech was evolving. BlackBerry made some critical errors that sealed its fate. First, they underestimated the importance of apps. The iPhone App Store was booming, giving users an endless choice of applications. Meanwhile, BlackBerry was slow to adopt the app model, and their limited offerings couldn't keep up with Apple's or even Android's expanding app ecosystems. And it wasn't just apps. BlackBerry didn't make the transition to touchscreens quickly enough. By the time they launched their touchscreen models, iPhone and Android had already set the standard. Realizing they were falling behind, BlackBerry made a few last-ditch efforts to stay relevant. They tried touchscreen phones with models like the BlackBerry Storm and the BlackBerry Torch, but they just couldn't capture the same magic. Reviews were mixed, and the technology was often outdated by the time these models hit the market. BlackBerry even tried to launch their own operating system, BlackBerry 10, to compete with iOS and Android. But it was too little, too late. Developers had already committed to Apple and Android. BlackBerry's story is a powerful lesson on how quickly technology can shift and how crucial it is to stay adaptable. Their downfall wasn't due to a lack of resources or bad hardware. It was the result of rigid thinking and an overconfidence in their initial success. For today's giants, Apple, Google, Samsung, BlackBerry is a reminder of what happens when a company stops evolving. Complacency and overconfidence can be the biggest threats, especially in an industry that's always moving forward. Interestingly, BlackBerry hasn't completely disappeared. They've reinvented themselves in the software and security space, focusing on enterprise solutions and cybersecurity for governments and corporations. It's not the BlackBerry of old, but they found a way to stay relevant, even if it's in a different form. So, while we might not be tapping away on those tiny keyboards anymore, BlackBerry's legacy still lives on in a way few could have predicted. Sometimes, even after a fall, a company can find a new path to success. So that's the story of BlackBerry, a brand that went from market dominance to near obscurity, only to reinvent itself once again. If anything, BlackBerry shows us that in tech, you either adapt or you disappear. If you enjoyed this video and want more tech insights, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know what story we should cover next. Thanks for watching.